to make sure I maneuver through this corporate ladder, but also have time to do what I love to do on the side. You know what I'm saying? So just using my little 9 to 5 to fund my dreams and passions for the future, man. That's it.
I feel you, man. Hey, man, after I got into the corporate world, I don't know. It started to feel. It was like it's like the smoke and mirrors was gone. I'm sitting there like, man, this is exactly not what I was told. So I'm like, man, I can't see myself working for somebody. You know, like I can't be that company, man. Like I'm trying to, but I look left and right, and all I see is just I'm like, everybody look like they done gave up. So,
they're just corporate zombies now. Like they just come in, clock in, and clock out. Like they don't have any how can I say, like, hunger anymore. Like they're not hungry for more.
Dude, when I sit next to a black dude, 'cause he's like my trainer or like my mentor for at work, and I'm sitting next to him, and my first week I've asked him these questions. I was like, yo, so what did you really want to do? He was kind of like, want to do like the A&R thing like Trey was doing. And I'm like, so what happened? He was like, I got into this job, telemarketing, and all of a sudden I started feeling my way out, and, I found out I was good at it. And so each job I've gotten has been like a little telemarketing style job. And I'm like, so you quit basically. That's what I'm saying in my head. I don't want to be disrespectful, but he's like, I got kids now. I'm like, but you 40, dude. Like, man, 40 the new 20. Like, you can still get it. But hey, man, I understand. Once you get into that consistent, I guess that same track, that same, everyday life, you
everyday
comfortable, man. I can't be like that, bro. And he asked me he's like, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? I'm like, dude, what's wrong is I don't like doing this. Like, I've been working here for 4 or 5 months, and this ain't nothing what I was trying to do. This is it's in my field, but it's not it's not my end goal. You feel me? It's like it's here for right now, but we don't have look. I got hired on in August, and since then we've had 7 or 8 people quit or go to a different job. Like, and I'm trying to figure out why, but a lot of it's money. Other thing is just I want to they want to do something different. Nobody wants to be making phone calls every day about shipping. Yeah, about shipping. Like, no, that's not interesting. It's like that's not what I want to do. But man, you went from Miami to here. But hold on, let me go ahead and introduce you, bro. Let me introduce you. I got this mic rolling, so I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you, bro. All right, so
do your thing, bro.
All right, welcome to the On My Way podcast with your boy Pernell Bills. And I got another special guest with me today. He's probably the most confident dude I know. The most confident dude I know. So the first event at University of West Florida. I know I comment on University of West Florida a lot on these podcasts, but that's my experience so far. So the first event, I think it was like an open mic night. It was this light-skinned dude, and then it was Shareef. Right? It was like a buff light-skinned dude, and then Shareef was like a carbon copy, but he was dark-skinned. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what the heck these two dudes doing up here? And they styling, flashing. I don't know who the heck that dude was, but because the other dude like disappeared. I don't know. I guess he graduated. But it was you, and I'm like, who was this dude? And then all of a sudden, he's in Presidents. Who the heck is this? This guy's everywhere. Like, he done got the ladies too. Like, dang.
Word.
Smooth.
Yeah.
But without further ado, like to introduce my dog, Shareef. What's up, Shareef?
Let me get a yeah.
Hey.
What's good with you, man? Honestly, man, I just want to say thank you, man, for even letting me be on the show, man. Just to talk, just to help, just help anybody who's listening and give your audience. You know what I'm saying? So if I can give anything to this podcast, to this conversation, it's just me being myself, me giving knowledge and help to like anybody who needs it, man. Let's just have a good conversation. You feel me?
I feel you, man. Hey, it's a pleasure to have you on here, man. Cause look, I say this, bro. A lot of people don't understand. Like, sometimes it's not what you say, but what you do. And then once you meet that person, it's you see what they say, and you're just like, man, it adds on to what they do, And sometimes, my mom always said, you never know who's watching. You feel me? You never know how you can get, what type of impact you can give. And so, like, with the people I've had on here, like with Brandon or Reggie, and just recently had Niger on here, and now you. It's like all these guys that I've had on here. You guys are like people I've witnessed, I've seen. You may not know I've been watching, but I'm watching. And I'm looking. I'm taking notes now. You feel me? And there's somebody else who's probably taking those same exact notes, trying to figure it out themselves. You feel me? And so I feel like on my journey, you guys have been pieces to the puzzle that that's helped me become better and will help me further in my future. And I know somebody's back at UWF or in Jacksonville or in Pensacola or wherever everybody's at, California, like Niger is on YouTube and stuff. Somebody's trying to get this exactly, man. Trying to get this information, bro. And the I guess the great thing about it is that you and Niger, you guys are from my area, my neck of the woods in Jacksonville. So that makes it for me. Every time I see somebody, I'm like, that's from Jacksonville. I say Duval Excellence, and that's it's a honest. I'm honest about that because when
man, Jeff Stewart, middle, just feel me.
Hey, Jeff, y'all okay, bro? I'm just saying, JD was, we down the street now. We down the street. But I'll say the generation that came out with us was it seemed like it was coming, on a rocky path. But from the people I've met and the people I've talked to since then, and you see where they're at now, they're all trying to build up. Everybody's trying to build up. Nobody's on that little that kid stuff, that kid mentality. Everybody's like, look, I'm trying to get it. Nobody's trying to step in anybody else's way from getting, everybody's trying to help them up, so I like that crab in the bucket mentality. It's not what it was, so, but, how has school been, not school, but how has life been since school?
So after graduating, honestly, man, I think that what I'm gonna say will probably be controversial because I think life is easy. Honestly, man, I think that people just either make their lives hard or they have other people making life hard for them. Like I think that once you figure out how to do life and you have a plan for yourself, it's really easy to stick to that plan and move forward with whatever you got going on. So like I know, like for me, when I graduated, I wanted to go into banking. And so I knew like how to get in on the ground floor. I knew how to network. I knew how to, just maneuver my way through the corporate ladder, so to speak. But other, college graduates, like recent college graduates, like they might not know what they actually want to do. What do they admit it to themselves, admit it to their families, their friends, their peers who were on the college campus, and they got degrees in X, Y, and Z. Like they just might not truly know what they want to do. But life after graduation for me has been easy. Of course, there's been trials and tribulations, but for the most part, man, I've honestly been enjoying it. After graduation, I started working at a bank, and 5 months later, I got the opportunity to become a supervisor for a bank, and I moved down to South Florida, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, man, and it honestly wasn't until I moved down to South Florida to see what real life really was like, and again, I can see how life can be made hard by other people. It's not like you making life harder, life is difficult after college or whatever, or to find a job, but it is like you will have those certain people who are in your field who don't want to see you succeed, and I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned since graduating and just moving up that corporate ladder. When you're a young, black, educated person, male or female, not everybody wants to see you succeed, and especially not in big Fortune 500 companies or whatever. They don't want to see you move up and take their position. That is a fear to them. I was coming in, I was 21, 22 years old. I got promoted 6 months ahead of time. I had a degree on me, you know what I'm saying? So
you had the credentials,
right? You know what I'm saying? I had the credentials to not necessarily outperform the managers or supervisors or branch managers or whatever, but give it time and I would I would surpass them before I hit their age. I was working with people who was managing me. They was 30 something, 40 something, you know what I mean? And I was 22, 23 or whatever, and I already am one notch below you in my 20s. So imagine where I'll be in my 30s, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel to them it was a fear that I would come in and have all of this success, and it took them maybe a little longer. Was like a little harder for them. Because I know, like, some people they're really stagnant, and they stay in the same like the same exact position, excuse me, for years. And either they want to move up, but they're hesitant or scared or whatever, or again, you have people who just don't want to see you succeed. So I just had to learn like who I could trust, who I could talk to, who really want to see me win, and ever since then, man, it's been good, man. And like now, I actually I left that bank that I work for in South Florida, and I'm working at a credit union now, which is like completely different. Of course, making more money, learning more, experiencing more, doing personal banking and things like that. I love it, man. Like, and just like you were speaking on before, like you never know who you'll meet. Honest to God, man. Like I didn't want to cut you off or anything like that, but here's like a quick little testimony. I come into work every day full suit. Only black men doing that in my branch at all. Full suit every day, because again, you never know who you'll meet. In the past 48 hours, I've had 2 people offer me jobs at like Fidelity.
Whoa.
And yeah, like it was like an old high school friend. He worked for Fidelity, and he's been there for like a year and a half, 2 years. And he seen me at my job the other day, and he was like, "Man, like, how much you making here?" I was like, "I'm making a nice little, a nice little chunk of change. You feel me? I'm not stressed about nothing, And he was like, "Well, if you could do this, you could do, investments for Fidelity, or you could work for us." You know what I'm saying? I was like, I thought about it, but I came here for this job specifically, like with the experience, But like, let me take down your card center. He's like, "Yeah, man, like we make, 50-60K off rip, yada yada yada." I was like, "Oh, huh, bro, what?" You know what I'm saying? Like just starting, and like they'll pay for the licenses and this and that. I was like, yo, because like one day in banking, like to go far, you honestly don't need a degree to do banking. Like you just need
the experience.
Literally, yeah, like you just need the experience and the certifications and licenses. I was like, yo, that sounds a good deal, man. So you know what I'm saying? Like, of course I got his number. I text him later just to get some more information about it. You know what I'm saying? But then the next day, like another lady comes in. And she was telling me how like she went to school for like the same thing that we went to school for, business management, PR, everything, and how she started off in like the mortgage department, became a processor, became an underwriter, and that's where all the money is. And she saying like gave me her card, told me to contact her if I have any questions or something. And she looked for me to hitting her up, and it was literally all based off of how I was dressed that day. Now, the first experience with, somebody offering me a job at Fidelity, that was somebody who I knew. But the second person was like literally like she came in and she saw that I was the only person in the suit. Wanted to talk to me, came to my office or whatever. We got to rapping, and I was like, yo, like this is why I like do what I do, man, because we literally have to try twice as hard being black, being young. You feel me? So I come in every day, man, headstrong, and I'm not gonna be outworked by nobody.
So what made you want to get into the banking industry? Because like most of us, like I'm gonna be real, once we get to college and stuff like that, a lot of times we don't think about jumping into banking. We don't think about that aspect, because when we hear banking, we hear teller, like a bank teller. Right. So what made right. Out of all things like coming up, like what made you I want to jump into the banking industry?
Honestly, man, and I tell everybody this too. It was when I got my first bank account. I was 16. I got my first job at like AMC Theaters in Orange Park, and
So you the dude that you let me in with my ticket, huh?
Bro, doing the tickets, bro. I was behind the concession stand, cleaning the theaters. You know what I'm saying? I was doing it all, man. But I got my first job when I was like 16 at the movie theaters, and my mom took me into like Bank of America, man, and opened up my first account. You know what I mean? But I honestly wasn't taught a lot of finance and like banking things like at home. You know what I mean? Like, of course, like parents have talks to you about how to save money and the third, but there wasn't really much teaching about how to, write a check, balance a, budget, what are certain accounts that you should look for, how to, build and establish credit. Like, of course, like we had those talks, but it wasn't like drilled in my head, or I wasn't really paying attention. So I got my first bank account when I was 16, and I honestly didn't know how to use it. And Bank of America was, charging me for everything, like left and right, like, moving money from one account to the next, fees that I didn't know about, like monthly service fees or whatever. And I was like, bro, like I feel so like ill prepared for adulthood and life, and I just didn't like that feeling of being financially illiterate. So with that experience with Bank of America, I was like, bro, like I never want to feel like that again. And I know that people who are my age or people who have our skin color, like we go through that. Like we are so late on teaching our younger generation about financial literacy and money management.
Because they don't even teach that in college. Not even like that. They don't go that deep in depth with it. Like there's my mom always asked me. She was like, "How come you're not so great with managing your money?" I'm like, I'm learning. Like there's not like she's like, "You went to school for this." I'm like, "No, I went to school to get a degree." In that degree doesn't tell you what they like. People misconstrue college degrees for they give you every single thing that you should know about life. Nah, they ain't giving you nothing. They give you exactly what you came there for, was a piece of paper and the basic classes that you need for that paper. They're not gonna give you. They don't really give you too much insight on what they do, on how them professors really make their money.
You know what's crazy, bro? After I graduated and I got my first job in the bank, I think like the first day of training, they asked us, they said, "Hey, did everybody go to school for business? They done accounting and finances on third?" And so I I stood up and I said, "Yeah, I took a couple of accounting finance classes." If you took any accounting classes, everything that you learn is backwards. Like everything that we do here at the bank is literally backwards from what they taught you in class in college. And I was like, "What?" Like literally, like looked at the page and was like, "You can just flip everything that you learn." You know what I mean? So first day I already knew. I was like, "Yeah, like we did not learn what we were supposed to learn in college, man." And like it's crazy how like it took 2 decades for us to figure this stuff out. So imagine like how long it's gonna take like the next generation. So if the generation before us, our parents or whatever, didn't teach us this when we were little, and we didn't have this instilled in us growing up, now we're already 20 years behind. Now we're already, you know what I'm saying? Like
how far? What's the actual? How far behind are we? Compared to our competitors, and the other races, because they always say black people don't do this, black people don't do that. No, black people don't do stuff that we don't know.
Right.
Like we don't know what's the outcome of it. We're not going to do it. We're going to do exactly what we've seen be done. In the long term, I've seen my grandparents have a little bit more money, but I've never seen my dad has a little bit more money, but I've never seen money managed properly instead of just being never seen it actually grow with as time goes on. So
go ahead.
So in the banking industry, when it comes down to it, like, what should black people know when it comes to? Because you just said something about checking and how to allow your checking account how it really works. Like, what do you mean how it really works? Because that peeped in my head. Like, what do you mean? I don't really works.
I think that people like when they come to open an account, I think that personal bankers, anybody who is opening an account for that person needs to do a better job at educating the customer or the member as to what the guidelines for these accounts are, and detail like what you can do, what you can't do, how to use it, this and the third. And I'm not saying like teaching like the loopholes or whatever, because there's loopholes to everything, but I've seen and I know like what people do when they open accounts. Like usually they give disclosures. Like they don't really go through everything that you need to know. They give you a couple of pamphlets, tell you to refer back to this page and this and the third. And I think that we just need a better way of presenting like new accounts. We need a better way of educating people on what the importance of having the eligibility to have an account, because there's people who like are not eligible to have accounts at banks or credit unions as well. So like we need to teach the importance of having an account and what it establishes with the bank or the credit union that you're with. But I think that like most people don't understand that like when they put their money like inside of any bank. So if you open an account at Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever, you have to understand that like you're giving your physical money to be given back figurative money. So like you worked hard for your $100, whatever. So like you're gonna give your physical, collateral, tangible money to the bank. They're gonna take it. They're gonna invest it somewhere. And when you want to pull all of it out, it's not gonna be right away, right? Like it's not the same give and take. Like it's like people don't understand that, you know what I mean? And so like I've been on the opposite end of like, you know, like customers or like members will come in and they're upset, they want to pull their money out or they want to make a large withdrawal or whatever, and we have to go through certain policies and procedures to
even
get
that
make sure
done.
that they are what they say you right, you know what I'm saying? So as quick as you give it to them is not gonna be as quick as they give back to you because they probably haven't made a return on that yet. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So I think that's like one way to think about it. But there's so many different ways to talk about it and think about it, man. But I just think that we just need to do a better job of understanding the importance of having an account anywhere, whatever be a bank or credit union. There's like online banks now, bro. Like banking is forever changing and forever evolving with technology. You know what I mean? But just understanding like what comes with your account. Like does your account charge you monthly maintenance fees if you don't have a certain balance in there? Know how much you should have in there, if it's free overdraft protection, what are the service fees, what are the NSF fees, just things like that. So like you're not blinded by your account and being in the negative, or you're not blinded by money being taken out of your account. Because when you open the account, you sign a contract saying that you read in full details and you agree and accept to the terms and conditions, but nobody reads that. Nobody's gonna read a 30-page pamphlet or disclosure that says what you can and can't do, what the bank legally can do at any point in time, this, that, and the third. You feel me? So it's like I think that we need to understand that when we first go to open an account, and then just having the account in general, like how it establishes, you know, credit history and stuff like that, and your relationship with the bank, and why you can do certain things, why you can't. Because like these are all like everything that I know now is everything that I did when I was, you know, 16, 17, 18 years old, and I didn't know how to manage money. I didn't know how to read disclosures and you know accept the terms and conditions or whatever. Like I didn't know that because I wasn't taught that. It wasn't instilled in us. So we just out here just thinking that, you know, like we are deserved X, Y, and Z for having this account and putting your money here. But as soon as you sign that contract or that membership application and you deposit that money, you need to understand like what that means. That's just it, man. That's just as real as I could be with it.
So in this journey, right, when you so could you say you've learned more out of school than being in school when it came down to your actual career field?
Bro, I've learned more on Twitter than school, bro. Like it is crazy too. Like it's crazy how much you learn about real life. Like when you actually graduate and you get a job and you're at work and you just talk to people, just like you were saying, like people will really tell you like their life story, and you realize like either how hard life has been, how easy life has been. You see like why people get so behind on bills and consolidating debt and this everything, bro. So like for me, I've learned so much from the 2 years I've been out of school, bro. Like I literally feel like, and I'm not gonna say like my degree was a waste of time. I just think now, if I had the opportunity to do it all over, would I go and get a college degree, or would I go and get a certification that says I have the experience to do this? You know what I'm saying? Because my degree does not matter in the bank world, bro. It does not.
You sound like
if there's
you sound like Nigel when he gave me that same thing when he was like, when I went out to California, they were like, my degree means nothing out there.
Nothing. And that does not matter.
And it's crazy. Because, I mean, for me, like, I got my degree and got the job, but did it help me in the door? Yeah, but do I need a degree for it? No. I mean, anybody can dial up a call.
Right.
But,
exactly, man. So, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, continue.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, bro, like, it's crazy how just the corporate world would rather somebody who has the experience over somebody who has a degree. Because you can have a bachelor, you can have a master, you can have a doctorate, whatever. That doesn't mean that you have the hands-on experience to do what you're applying for. And then somebody who comes in with 1 year of experience, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years of experience versus your 10 years of education, you will never get a job compared to them. It doesn't matter.
You're trumped every time.
Every single time. You know what I'm saying? Especially if like somebody, if I go for an interview and I have a degree or whatever, and I have a couple of years of experience, but somebody else comes in with, years of experience plus their certifications, licenses, Series 6, Series 7, all of that kind of stuff, they get a job off rip. Off rip, they're gonna get the job because you got the, on the job training, on the job experience, and that's what, I think also wasn't taught when we were in high school and college or whatever. Like they always tell you, go to school, get your education, which is important. Getting your education is important, but now I'm realizing that education is free, bro. The internet is free. There's wireless everywhere. You can Google anything.
If you want it, you got to go get it. And just like education, if you want it, you got to go get it. And it doesn't mean you got to go to a university or a community college to get it. All you need to do is want to go get information. And if you go online, which is very accessible to everybody. Everybody got a phone now. Mm-hmm. You can go in there, go to a public library even if you don't have a phone, and you can get down to it and learn what you want to learn. You know what I mean? It just takes the time to go ahead and do it. But I've talked to you, maybe a year or two ago when I asked, it was like, what was your end goal? And I don't know if it's still the same, that you want to own your own bank.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, I can't. Hey, my memory on point, dude.
What's crazy, bro? It's crazy to hear that out loud from somebody else on how big that dream was, and not saying that I don't have like the same dream, stuff like that. I think that along the lines of how long I've been working and something, and like just like you said, like I can't be somebody who's just working a 9 to 5. I can't be somebody who just clocks in for somebody else for the rest of my life. Like that's crazy to think about. Like I just can't do that. You know what I mean? And also when I was a supervisor as well, I learned that it takes a lot of energy and time and effort to put into other people when you're in management or you're a supervisor. Like I literally would be drained at the end of the day. Like I had like 7 people under me, whether they were full-time, part-time, whatever, and it took a toll on me, dude. I was like, bro, like I'm literally giving y'all like everything from me, like my energy, my confidence, my knowledge, just my happiness. But I was like, dude, like I gotta remember that, like if I'm pouring into other people, like there has to be somebody or something that has to be poured back into me, and I wasn't getting that. So I'm not saying that like I don't still have that big dream, but I think that from like just honestly, bro, just like being in a bank and meeting some people shaking the right hands, I'm just like, the money is elsewhere. And I'm not saying that like I'm selling out for the money or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But
you learn money is not everything.
Right, money is not everything, and the money will come, especially if you follow your dreams and sign a third. And I'm just being honest with you, bro. It'll probably take me longer to do that because I just want to take like a little excursion and go like the financial advisor route at some point, like just to get my licenses, certifications, and stuff like that, to be a financial advisor. Like I kind of want to do that before I get back into that, own my own bank, maybe being a branch manager, district manager, all that kind of stuff. Because you really have to put your energy into the people that you work with, and people who are under you. Because like at the management level, like now it's not just about you. Like it's not about you meeting your goals or exceeding expectations. Like now you have to also make sure that the 7 to 10 to 15 other people under you or the region that's under you is also excelling. That in itself is a lot of pressure. That in itself is a headache. You know what I mean? And so I think in my youth, I just want to focus on my development. And then in the later years, like once I feel like I've developed myself enough, because I can't help somebody else grow if I'm not growing. And so I just want to make sure that I'm not underdeveloped or underprepared for anything in the future. So
where did all this confidence come from? when it comes to the way you move, the way the way you act? Where did that come from?
Women. No. The confidence to be real, man. I would say the confidence. I think like one day I woke up, and this was actually back in college at University of West Florida. I remembered how I felt when people would tell me that I'd be a great leader. I should run for this position. I should be on the exec board for this, and I was always afraid of failing and having that responsibility behind my name. Like, yeah, I know I could do it, but just in case I fail, just in case I mess up, I don't want to let anybody down. So for like the longest time, bro, I didn't want to be a leader. I didn't want to have to wake up every day and be 110% better than I was yesterday. And so, like, what gave me the confidence? Honestly, bro, it was just the people who was around me, man. It was just like, yo, like, if they could do it, then I could do it. And if they believe in me like this much, then why am I so afraid to be successful? Like, I realized that, like, it wasn't like the fear of failing. It was the fear of having to be great every single day. Like, just having that notion every day that I step outside of my dorm room, like, they're looking for me to be in a suit and be educated on every single topic, or they want me to host this CAB event or open mic night or this ASA event, or I have to have the highest, or not the high GPA, but I have to have a high GPA so that I can look, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
The expectations.
The expectation of it, like, and that in itself, like goes back to being like tiring and draining. And so I was so afraid of that. And like one day it clicked in my head. I was just like, Reef, like, you really afraid of success, bro? Like, what's your problem? Like, why you not stepping up to the plate? Why you not wanting that and pushing yourself past your mental limits? And so I was like, one day it really just clicked to me, man. I was just like, I could do it. Like, there's no turning back now. Like, especially like in banking, like when you make a mistake and you mess with somebody's money, it's serious. You can get fired. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just knowing that every day that I wake up, I'm on my way to work, I'm third, I have to be 110% better than like who I was yesterday or last week or last year, because every day is they're observing me today. You know what I mean? So I just want to wake up every day and exceed expectations. I just want to make my family happy, my friends proud. I just don't want to let us down, us as black men and black women, us as UWF or black UWF graduates. You feel me? Like, I owe it to everybody to be as successful as people have thought I was going to be, or as successful as I've envisioned for myself. And I want, you know what I'm saying? And like, I want that same thing for anybody who I've met, I've shook hands with, we'd have had a conversation. Like, I want that for everybody, man. And so the confidence just comes from knowing that we can actually do it. Like, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but we are powerful beyond measure, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally that. Like, it's crazy how much you can actually accomplish if you realize that you can accomplish it, or you already have the skills developed to accomplish it. And then you wake up, bro, and you start snapping on everything. Like, even things that you don't even know you were snapping on, you getting praise and, honor for and reverence for. So it just, this one day for me, I know personally, like, it just clicked in my head, like, I could be this, and I could do this, and I'm going to do this,
So who inspires you, man?
It's crazy. I was thinking about this today too. And I know, like, people will probably give, celebrities and famous people and rich people. I would honestly say who inspires me is everybody. And when I say that, like, I mean, like, anybody, again, like, anybody who I've ever had a conversation with, who I've met, I've impacted your life, and they've impacted my life, because I feel like you can learn from everybody, like, not just the rich or the famous or whatever, or the stock traders and Bill Gates or whatever. Like, you can learn from somebody who you just sit next to at work, and by hearing their story, whether it's good or bad, like that can literally, like, inspire you to be better in your own life, or vice versa. Like, you meet a celebrity one day, and, like, you just have, like, you meet your idol or whatever, and you have a conversation with them, and they'll inspire you, bro. So I think, honestly, like, anybody who I can talked to, who I've met, I've shook hands with, we've experienced life together, I've honestly like taken something from it and learned either from their mistakes, my mistakes, learn from their success or my success, and I try to embody like all of the good and positive traits of everybody, so that it just propels me forward. You know what I mean? So like tomorrow or whenever, like I can be that impactful in somebody else's life.
You know, I can kind of I guess you can say I can piggyback off that, because I had a moment where my very first job was at Walmart, the big giant Walmart on the south side by the Avenues Mall, bro. And I was pushing carts, bro. And so I lived I lived on the west side, so you already know, on the west side, like off Collins Road. So there's no bus stop on that. At that time, there was no bus stop. So I had to walk all the way up from the end of Collins down by Schindler, walk all the way up to Blandon, and then find me a bus station, a bus stop, whatever. Take 2 buses, right, and a 2-hour trip just to get to Walmart. And on that trip, right, and that I had to go to the downtown bus station, and I sat there, and it was an old black dude, and he was elderly, but he couldn't see, right. He, like, his vision had kind of gone. And I was sitting there, and he asked me a question. You know, I didn't think he could see me or nothing like that, but he asked me a quick question, right? He was asking me about the train or the bus or whatever, and I gave him the information and stuff like that. Because I'm not gonna be like, get out my face, man. Nah, he just asked me a quick question. I asked him a question, and so we start talking, chatting it up, and for a guy who was blind, man, he had done so much, right? What he couldn't see no more, he spoke with the wisdom that he had, which was to me is so important, because I think everybody should go and speak to somebody, no matter if they're homeless, no matter if they're the wealthiest person, no matter whoever it is, just sit down and talk to him and just listen. And as I was listening to him, like, I found out he was part of the very first class of William M. Raines, bro. He was one of the very first dudes in the state of Florida who was black to get a degree, and to get a doctorate degree from FAMU.
That's what's up.
Like, and it was like the dude I'm sitting next to, who looked like he had been through it in life, had accomplished so much, when I'm sitting right next to him and I'm just getting started. And I'm 17, 18 years old, and I'm just, so much wisdom, and that he inspired me when I came into that next year, because that next year, C100, that went to a different level. Snap. And I'll say, I remember when I had somebody come up to me and ask me, it was like, what's the, and it was in that year. So, you to have that audacity to ask me questions on, why should I join C100? Man, I was at a different mind state. I was like, why should you join it? Why aren't you in it? Right. I had that mentality, and they were asking me questions. I was just like, look, if you want to grow, you want to be what you want to be, like, this is gonna be a good step for you, a wise step. Cause they asked about money. They were like, man, it's like, I think dues were like $50 at the time period, or $20. I don't know how much it was at the time. And I was like, bro, it's $20, but $20 can get you a brotherhood. $20 can set you up to the next level. Like, what are you gonna do with that $20? You gonna sit there and do nothing but waste it, right? And at this time period, right, we were doing stuff for the mayor. At this time period, we were doing stuff for the entire school, the entire city. Like, stuff was getting done, and I'm just sitting there like, if you don't see what we're doing, then you don't need to be part of it. And at the end of the day, like, they came out and was like, I'm going to go ahead and join C100 because it look like they doing something big over there. You dang right we doing something big over here. Like, people like, a whole department stop the entire day just to hear what we got to say. Like, that's power. And I think people misconstrued money, right? It misconstrued how money's used and power. Like, power is important. And I think for the black culture, they must understand, like, that is what you need to gain. You need to gain power. Power to say yes or no. Power to make the decisions for others, other races, for one. Because everybody's making a decision for us. It's time for us to use the power that we have, gain some more of it, and use it properly. So when we do get the money, we have the money and the power to put into the right places.
Yes, sir.
So, and if you had something to say to, let's say the next man, or the next young guy, what if you're that old wise man sitting at the bus station? What would you tell that young man who's probably you don't even know who he is. You just see him. Like, what would you
Yeah.
say? What would you say to him when it comes down to how to maneuver life so far? Because you're still young. I'm still young. Like, what would you
Mhm.
tell him or her?
For her, right? That is a very big question. Honestly, man, I'll probably say two things, man. I would say the first thing would be only a fool don't change, and I say that because I think that people need to understand that like every day you need to grow. Like every day you need to cut off like you need to cut off the dead weight that you have on you from yesterday so that you can grow and propel forward. It's like a rocket, you know what I'm saying? Like when a rocket first takes off, it will not have everything that it took off with once it gets to a certain altitude. So you cannot move forward, you cannot excel if you're still holding on and you're not willing to change for the better you. I don't care if it's, an hour's time or a day's time, a year's time. Like you have to figure out what kind of changes you need to make to better yourself, better your situation, better your finances, better your education, because it really is all on you. Like if you're working hard, can't nobody take that from you. You got a degree, can't nobody take that from you. There's gonna be people who don't want to see you succeed, but hard work beats rumors and defamatory speech and all that kind of stuff. So understand that like only a fool don't change. And the second thing I would say is be a positive impact, man. Like I've gotten so far like in my career. Honestly, if I could base it off anything, honestly, it would be my like positive attitude, man, about everything. Like whether it be at work, friends, family, just bus stop conversation. Like I'm always showing people that positive side of life. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what's happened to you. I don't care if you know what I'm saying, worst day ever. Like there's always something positive that can be said or can be spoken into somebody else. Because life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And if you continue to speak negatively, think negatively, then negative things will happen, man. So remain positive about everything. Now I know that that's easier said than done, but I promise you, like life gets better, things get better. That positive impact goes a long way. I know that just from being in management, being in the supervisor like leadership role, I didn't have the opportunity, nor did I have the leeway of ever coming into work and being anything other than great or other than positive. Because when you do, that shows that you are now controlled by your emotions. That shows that you can't handle a serious management position. Like I didn't have the leeway of not being happy, not being positive, or not being impactful. And I honestly see it now, like even in my like current position, where I've literally been with this company for maybe since September. You know what I'm saying? So it's only been a couple of months, but just the way that I walk, just the way that I come in, like people thought that I've been working here for years. People think that I'm the top dog in the branch or whatever, or I'm the manager. You know what I'm saying? Like just off the attitude and the energy that I give off. You know what I mean? So just two things, man. Only a fool don't change. So figure out the change you need to make to better your life and to truly gain your success. And just always remain positive about anything, man. Like that will help you become steadfast in anything. You know what I mean? So that's me.
Hey, man. For one, I'd like to again thank you for jumping on here on my way podcast, because I know there's so many people out here who needs to hear these words, man. Wow, I stuttered on that one.
Man,
But
word up, bro. I just want to say that I'm proud of you, man. I don't know if you haven't heard that today or whatever, but if I'm the first person to tell you today that I'm proud of you, bro, I'm proud of you, and that's on everything that I've seen you since the college days. You feel me? Like, I remember when all y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally remember when everybody first came to EWF, you know what I'm saying? And we were all trying to find our way, figuring out who we were, and like just to see how far you've come. Like, I remember all of the struggles you went through just with all of the business classes and trying to get our degrees and stuff like that. Like, how much stress you went through, and then seeing you after graduation, like, again, like knowing what you want to do, and just in a couple months of, you know, getting it and like into your career field, you understand like you're not a corporate puppet. You know what I mean? So like, you have the podcast and sports broadcast with the Sports Hungry, you know, brand and the team, and then your girl's doing great. Like, bro, like I think that you and everything that you're doing is like such a role model, and like I want you to understand that like you honestly like impact a lot of people. I don't like, and I don't know if like you know that I don't know if you like self-reflect on that each day, but I think that you're reaching a lot more people than you realize, bro. And I just want you to just, again, continue to stay positive, figure out the change you need to make. You see how I'm sliding that in there, but honestly, bro, I'm completely proud of you, man, and everything that you've done, and just having the confidence to start your own business. Having the confidence, you know what I'm saying, return the juice. Okay, the confidence to the confidence to just do everything. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Thank
like,
you, man.
Just to do everything that you've done, because it really takes confidence in knowing that people will support you and they won't support you. Like, to start your own business, to start your own podcast, to start your own brand. Like, there's millions of people out there who are just afraid to tell their own friends that they want to quit their job and start a business. A million people out here who won't even tell like their spouses or their families, like, yo, like, I've been thinking about this idea, like, what you think about it? Because of the fear of changing their identity or feeling like they're quitting or they have to start over. Like, bro, that takes a lot of confidence in itself, man. And so if I can say any last words right now on this podcast, was I'm proud of you, man, on everything.
Thanks, bro, man. That touched the heart, man, because I'm be real, man. There's nights, there's days where I'm just like, am I doing what I need to do? Am I following what God want me to follow? At the same time, you know, I know one of my biggest influence in life has been my grandfather, and he passed away in 2010. But you know, I know that, you know, he lived his life doing everything he had to do for other people, and towards the end of his life, he was trying to start doing more stuff for himself to, you know, maybe set the family up in another way, but he wasn't able to accomplish all that stuff. But I know he lived a tough life, and he wanted me to go further and do more. So, you know, I understand, like, he didn't get to the college area. I understand he didn't get his degree and things like that. And my goals are to elevate my family, elevate my culture, you know, because I didn't really realize my culture until I got to college. And so I didn't really, you know, understand the importance of it until I got to college, because I'm from Jacksonville, so most of my school is either I'm black, and I still mingle with white kids anyway. It wasn't like we weren't friends. So I didn't really see the impact of it until I got to college. And, you know, for me, I like, you know, thank you and the impact you've had on me, because at the end of the day, bro, like I said, man, you never know who's watching. I was watching like a hawk, like, dog, what do I need to do? What I need to do to get better, bro? And I sit down every day, and I kind of ask myself, what do you need to do better? You know, does the change happen overnight? Nah, it never happens overnight. But the fact that to go in that direction to make that change, you know, that Michael Jackson, you know, the man in the mirror. Hey, man, that was a clean song, and it means a lot to me, because in order if I can make the changes, I gotta look the man in the mirror, bro. And I thank you a lot, bro. Thank you a lot. Those words, man, they pump me up even further, man. And hey, same time, man, I am proud of you as well, bro. Proud of you, because like I said, Duval Excellence is huge for me, and I want every kid who's in Jacksonville, every kid who's in Pensacola, and every kid who's in Florida or Georgia, no matter where you at, that, you know, you can make a difference, no matter if you're black or white. But you can get out. You can make a difference. You can see the world. You can do what you want to do. As long as you make make up your mind, just like, you know what, bump it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm just like the Nike slogan, just do it. You know, it holds strong. If you just do it, stuff starts to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, the engine don't move if you don't move.
That's right.
So, but That's what we got here, man. Hey, for one, again, I'd like to thank my dog Shareef for hopping on the On My Way podcast with his boy. And
that's it, man. Anytime.
Hey, trust me, bro. Trust me. We're gonna have some more conversations on here, man. I got a lot of stuff planning for 2019, and this is only the beginning for the podcast, man. So all I gotta say is we out.